Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us invite our next presenter, Yang Mulia Cikgu Muhammad Yusri bin Haji Yusli from Sekolah Rimba 2, presenting Experiential Science Learning for Special Needs Students, a Soil pH Investigation Approach, which is a collaboration between Sekolah Rendah Rimba 2 and Jabatan Pendidikan Khas. Dipersilakan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cikgu Yusri, and with me are our dedicated and inspiring pegawai Skipa, Cikgu Mala and Cikgu Hadi. Today, I'll be presenting a paper that we had conducted on how we integrate chemistry activities within special education, particularly through our gardening approach called Program Rumah Hijau. So allow me to walk around so I can make my presentation a bit interesting. Alright, so what is the significance of incorporating chemistry practicals within special education? As we all know, chemistry practicals are usually confined to secondary level, such as students who are taking chemistry or combined science O-level subjects. However, there's an increasing number of studies that suggest early exposure to chemistry or chemistry subjects or chemistry practicals to younger learners can benefit them, as it helps to increase their engagement in learning, their problem solving and critical thinking development. So when I look at the concept of chemistry within special education, there are still limited numbers of studies. But gardening has been proposed to be a good medium to integrate chemistry within special education, where students can learn the concept of science. At the same time, they learn about the basic skills of gardening and fundamental entrepreneurship. That becomes the foundation of our study, where we aim to explore the benefits of soil pH investigation as an experiential outdoor learning for special education students. We hope that our integrated program can strengthen our students' pre-academic skills, particularly on their numeracy and categorization ability, and we can support their social-emotional skill development through collaboration and peer interaction. And lastly, we want to enhance their learning throughout the integrated program implementation. We create two research questions. The first one, how do chemistry integrated with gardening activities will influence our students' pre-academic and social-emotional skills? And then in what ways do these activities support students' motivation and engagement in learning? Our study comprised of qualitative and quantitative approach, where we investigate 9 participants, 7 students with ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, 1 student with Global Development Delayed, and 1 student with suspected ADHD. These integrated activities was conducted in 5 consecutive days, where each day follows the same structures of introducing to good soil and bad soil using pH scales method, and collaborative activities where students collect soil samples throughout our designated soil compounds in our school, and pH investigation where the students use pH paper method to investigate the pH of the soil, and this task was done individually. We collect our data based on 3 teachers' observations, focusing more on the collaboration aspect during the collaborative activity. We look at the frequency of their collaboration, their positive behavior during turn taking, and so on. We also conduct a pre and post test, which we focus on their numeracy development. We also look at students' self-experience during the whole integrated activities. So we ask them in a survey whether they feel numbers can be applied outside the classroom learning, and whether they feel happy working with their friends and throughout the integrated program implementation. And all of this approach were adapted and modified based on our special students' needs, such as instructional visualization, teacher prompting, and scaffolding. So these are the results. So when we compare their pre and post tests, which took place before the program initiation and after the program completion, we can see their number recognition ability had improved from the average of 52% to 91%. Similar trends were seen in their number sequence and number writing ability. When we look at their ability to identify soil pH value, it improved after the program completion, where all of our students were able to accurately classify good and bad soils. When we look at the observation result, we can see an increased peer interaction among our students with a mean of 5.67, where they collaborate better. They show positive role sharing and turn taking compared to when they started. And when we look at the survey, all of our students agree that numbers, yes, can be used outside the classroom setting, particularly during the gardening activities, and they agree that they have a better relationship with their friends and they enjoy this integrated program. So our integrated program shows that yes, gardening in fact can be the bridge to invite or incorporate chemistry concept into special educations, and this integrated program reflects back to Kolb's experiential learning cycle, where the students experience the learning process of bad and good soils in classes, and then they reflect on these ideas when they collect the soil samples, and they link these two ideas when they are investigating whether the soil was too acidic or too alkaline or neutral. And they can conduct the same and similar approach for the next experimentation during the following day. And our result is actually aligned with special education curriculum, which was created by Jabatan Pendidikan Khas, particularly on domain number 1, which is pre-academic, focusing on numeracy development, and domain number 3, which is social-emotional development, focusing on collaboration and peer interaction. So for our future implementation of this integrated program, we want to extend the frequency of the program conduction. So instead of one cycle for 5 days, we want to conduct it one cycle in every school month. And we want to invite more students to participate within this program, as well as students from the mainstream classroom, so we can have that more inclusive learning environment. We hope that the result of this study can be replicated at other special education centers, whether in Brunei or outside of Brunei, and we want to include higher order thinking activities, such as letting the students investigate on how to improve acidic soils. But we want to include AI or basic search engine approach. And lastly, we want to see whether we can implement IEP goals within this integrated program. In conclusion, our program Rumah Hijau, chemistry plus gardening activities, demonstrate that a structured hands-on gardening can strengthen our students with special needs pre-academic development, their social-emotional skills, and their overall enjoyment during the learning process. We hope that the study can support our stakeholders in providing an inclusive, a safe, and most importantly, effective learning environment for our students. And at the same time, supporting our wawasan, rakyat yang berpendidikan dan berkemahiran tinggi dan berjaya, including our friends and family with special needs or disability. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Chigu Yusri. We now warmly invite you to pose questions for our presenter. Please feel free to use the microphone provided when posing a question so that everyone can follow the discussion. We would like now to open the floor for any question. Please introduce yourself.
How did you guys actually tally how many interactions? Did you record it?
How do we measure?
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Chiku Wazirul. Just one question on my side. Now, as we know, chemistry is a very challenging subject, and I have a student in the pure stream who is blind, totally blind. But she's doing pure sciences, which is amazing by itself because, in chemistry, it requires you to have the ability to see things. But then Allah Ta'ala bagi kelebihan more towards her hearing, so it's very challenging. So my question here is that how would you ensure that the learning activities that you are proposing maybe in the future are accessible and inclusive for all students, not just students young with Down syndrome, but also includes those young blind? Because in my school, we have several students young who are blind, but they are also in the mainstream classroom as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Wazirul. So when it comes to students who are visually impaired, there are many strategies to support them in their learning process.
How do you quantify?
Of course, when it comes to text or written description or instructions or explanation, we can use Braille. I like how Dr. Norafiza just now mentioned about sensory. So although they are able to visualize what is happening, they can still feel or they can still be involved in the process by using their sensory. Yeah. So there's some limitation, of course, but we can support them through sensory play. Okay. Kalau students primary memang we emphasize a lot lah, as Dr. Norfiza mentioned tadi, a lot of sensory. So when it comes to all level subjects, for example chemistry, they can still be part of the activity. Even there's some examples where people who are visually impaired use their phones to text. Unfortunately, when it comes to real chemistry at the secondary levels, I am not well versed on that topic. But my suggestion is we can focus more on dorang punya sensory, our sensory approach to help and support our students with science practicals. Thank you.
Any more questions? Just one more perhaps? Thank you very much. Can we give Chigu Yusri another round of applause, please?
Thank you.